I think the future China environment will be more challenging and competitive, and also in terms of the talent war in the world, not only happen in China and also globally. So it brings a lot of challenges. Besides, because of the innovation, and it make the world growing much faster, so people need to react very quickly. Because all these changes, it asks the business environment should be more ready. The business leaders are more competitive and competent to react in this ever-changing world. The skills for the future business leaders, I think first is the strategic skills, that they are able to think globally with the global insight. And also in terms of interpersonal and personal skills, this is very important. As we discussed this morning, the communication, it's not only about the language, it's more than language, and bring many different perspectives. For example, like the culture difference, how to you see from put self into other people's shoes, see things differently. So the communication definitely is one of the critical skills for the future China business leaders. Besides, as we discussed very frequently, the collaborative skill, how the leader can really embrace the team and do the delegation and encourage people across the boundary to work together. So all these are the critical skills for China business leaders, which probably nowadays in the current leaders, this may kind of lack. In terms of the strategies for future business leader development, I think a couple of things we can really do. First of all, in many companies, people do rotation. It's the same for our company. Actually, we have the leaders from different shareholders, and also they came from very different culture backgrounds. So we do the rotation. For example, the US leaders are based in China to experience the Chinese culture. And also some of the business leaders, they came from various their own background, local Chinese. And we put them work very close with those expat leaders, so they share the different views, but in the same time, they try to understand each other. So this is the way we can improve people's communication skills, and also improve the understanding towards a different culture, and how people carry different views can work together. The other thing I think we can do for the future business leader is to give them more opportunities to learning opportunities, so that they are able to react quickly in the market in terms of all those changes. So one thing we found very useful and very effective is we provide various learning programs, and those programs not only related to their personal job, their personal responsibility, but this is more is across the boundary, the knowledge across boundary knowledge, so they are able to grab more broad knowledge to understand what is happening in the company as well as in the market. So in that way, with all the learning opportunity, they are able to adapt themselves quickly into this the changing world. So I think from my personal perspective, they are the quite important strategy that the company should consider. In terms of how we help the leaders to achieve the future stage, actually in our bank, we provide different programs designed for different leadership team. For example, for the senior executives, we have the executive coaching, and for the executive coach, we have a very specific requirement. One, I think, is quite unique. We need this coach with a bilingual background, because our coach, our executive, they some are US-based and some are Chinese background. So we want the coach to provide the synergy and the chemistry fit with our coach. And also for the middle level talents, the middle level managers, we provide executive mentoring. So the bank's senior executives play the proactive mentor role to the mentees. And during the half year to 1 year program, actually the mentees learn a lot from the senior executives sharing. And in the same time, it's a good also idea exchange from the mentees to the mentors, because nowadays the mentees, they are relatively young, relatively less experienced, but they are very creative and very innovative. So it always inspires the senior executive leaders had got more idea or inspired more some new areas from the younger ones. Then in the broad way, we also have a buddy program that designed for the newcomers, the new promoted managers. So in that way, from buddy influence and to help those new managers accelerate their maturity, leadership maturity at with their team. So from a different perspective and angle focus, we designed those different level of programs to help our leaders to achieve in the future and to face the future challenges.